Welcome to the Sunshine Podcast. This is yours truly, Dora Williams, and we are here with the men segment, Men, We Need Your Voice. And we are here with none other than Pastor Nixon. And I'm just going to turn this over to him and let him give what God has given to give to the men. And we thought we were going to entitle this Man to Mentor. So, Pastor Antwon, thank you again for being a part, coming back, sharing your heart, your wisdom. Turning it over to you, man to mentor.
Awesome. So again, just thankful to be here and to have another opportunity to put our voice out there and to somehow, some way, shine some light on those who listen to this podcast, and to just thank everyone who supports it as well. But man to mentor definitely is about a journey. And it was inspired, from a text conversation with my cousin when I was expressing gratitude for his helping sponsor some of the men that I took to DC. Mm-hmm. And his response, he texted back, was, maybe man is not just your nickname, but a calling, because man is my childhood nickname.
Wow.
From my great grandmother. And so I had to take a step back when I saw that, and what it showed me was there was a transition that happens, or transcending that takes place, and I had to look at the brevity of my life, and I thought about what did my great grandmother see, in a baby, to call him man, and then she never got to see the mentor that I am today.
My God.
And so that's the dash in all of our lives, and so right now that's what I'm doing. I'm literally filling all that in. And so the mentorship in itself has nothing to do with only kids only, but you're literally trying to raise men. But you have to see a man in the boy already, which is you want to drag out his potential. And so that's what I got from that text message, was that what he was trying to say is that man is not just your nickname, or you were called. And so it took me to a particular scripture in Hebrews where it says, the writer says, what is man that thou visited him? Or the son of man, that you take him in the context, that you think about him. And it said that even the angels wanted to know. Now, there's something that a being that's higher than you wanted to know. What does God see in you? And that took me back to my grandma. What did she see in me? To nickname me such a large name, not knowing what I would become. But yet and still, I ended up here anyway. And so I was just truly inspired by that, and it's something that I wanted to kind of speak upon, because this is something that when you have kids, your young men that you're mentoring, you have to give off already what they need. Meaning this is something that you're putting this energy out in the atmosphere. So I had these 4 points that I think any mentor needs to kind of give off, which is to already be whatever it is that they don't know they want to become. And so I have a philosophy that I roll by, which is I will it into existence. And so the 4 points, kind of, how do you will something that's not even there? So you got to think about what God said, right?
Wow.
God spoke to nothing. He said, let it be. There was nothing there, right? But he spoke to it, it came. He willed that into action. But we also have these amazing abilities, because God is a creative God, and he's very creative, and he created us to be creative. So I want to use my creativity to do these things, but you have to be kind of like having a mindset is very unopinionated, not to deal with anybody. So these 4 things, in order to will something, goes simply this way. You need to mirror what you admire. You need to become what you respect. You need to reflect what you desire, and you attract what you expect. That is how you will something into existence. So whatever it is I have my mindset on, I mirror that. Whatever my desire is. So when I look in the mirror, I see that. The next phase is natural. They all go in succession. Whatever it is that image that I create, you become that. You become what you respect. Then you have to reflect what you desire. You got to give that off. You got to shine. You got to put that out there for others to see. And now, how do you will it into action? You attract what you expect. So Jesus, he gave the same illustration when they were out fishing and they was toiling and they hadn't caught nothing. And he says, launch out into the deep. And then he said, cast your net and expect a drop, a large thing. He was telling them to will it. They were out there all night and hadn't done nothing. But what you will find is that the drought of fish that they was wanting was only attracted to the will.
My Lord.
It was only attracted to the will. The fish was already out there, but it was only attracted to the will. When he said, go out there and expect that. When they expected to get a drop, it break the net. It break the net. So you can be walking in a certain way, but you're not actually lined up with your expectation. You're wishing. Wishing gets you nowhere. It's like wishing on a star. They told us to do that kind of stuff. Ain't nothing came true yet. But the moment you begin to enact the power of everything that's lined up for you through this in alignment, and it starts with yourself, meaning when you look at yourself in the mirror, what do you see? When you look at your visions and your goals, your desires, you have to mirror that. You know what I'm saying? You need to mirror that. So that's the first step. You have to mirror what you admire, the things that you look at that inspire you. You have to mirror that. You have to be the same image. Like you can lie to yourself all you want. Whatever's in the mirror is what's actually on the other side of it. So if those goals are in the mirror, you have to be that image. That's an image. So Jesus says, go out here, and he gave them an image. He showed them what to do. Go out there, gave them an idea. Once you mirror the idea, when you look like your idea, when you look like your vision, guess what? You're going to get that vision. Because all you do is you putting that out in the atmosphere. So after you mirror that, you become what you respect. Anything else you don't respect. Right. Anything that goes against your goals, your dreams, your desires, and everything that you're trying to do, you cannot respect that because it does not align. You're not being ignorant to it or being nasty. You're saying this does not align with what I'm trying to do, so I move in this way. Then the very next step after you do that is you have to reflect what you desire. Now I got to give off that energy. Right. Because I believe I got to put that kind of energy in the atmosphere so that everything in this whole universe lines up with that. I'm putting the same energy out there. And then the last part is natural. You attract what you expect. That's why he says, launch out there into the deep and expect a drop. So the fishes and everything was attracted to the expectation of the fishermen. The moment they started expecting to not only just be a fisherman because people call you a fisherman, but when they went out there saying, we finna go and catch everything, everything came into the net. Right. So some people go out there with low aim, low expectations. But when you start going out there with a large expectation, you get a large expectation. Right. The scriptures add up to that. It says, when you sow bountifully, right, you reap bountifully. That's a principle. So, the whole thing about man to mentorship is transcending. When you transcend the mind to that kind of mindset. Why were they in awe? Like when Jesus, he stopped the wind and all that. He transcended. When he was resurrected and he told Mary, you can no longer touch me. You don't have that kind of access anymore. He transcended. So even we must do the same thing. And so going from man to mentor, which is capital MEN, then TOR, it is the transcending of the man, the boy that was inside of me who has become the man that will lead other men. So I was just in a communication class just earlier today, and I was telling someone about you're not a leader until you produce a leader that produces another leader. My Lord. That's transcending. See, we think we're leaders, but you ain't produce nothing. Right. Who's behind you? When you look behind you, and can they produce without you? And then that person, can they produce another leader? Right. Can they be an ambassador? That's 2 times over. that's when you really like getting on another level with what you're doing, and you can really affect your community and change in that kind of way. So that's where my mindset is at. It's transcending.
This is good. I don't even know where to start here. This is amazing. It's amazing. But I love what you just said. You're not a leader until you can produce a leader.
That produces another
leader. And then that
leader.
Chain continues. It does not stop.
No, it's a continuum.
I love
because you got to think when someone calls you an ambassador, Paul says we are ambassadors for Christ, meaning when Christ ain't around. You know, if you're a United States ambassador, you're not in the United States. You're in another country. You're in foreign territory. But to be an ambassador is to walk in the same energy, in the same way, in the same demeanor, give off the same message, you know, without anything changing from that narrative. It doesn't matter that you're in a foreign place, you act like it's yours. Because according to Joshua, it's all about how you walk. He told Joshua, wherever your feet shall tread, I have already given you. So I should not fear being in a foreign land and say, hey, I represent the United States and I'm in China somewhere. Or I represent Christ and I'm over in you know, some far east country. At the end of the day, you are what you stand for, not what you speak for. Because at some point in time, what you speak for gonna testify against you because you're gonna have to stand on that. And then we'll find out like really like, you know, like what you are. So by your works, you show what you love and what you know. By your works, you show what you love and what you know, not by what you say. So when people look at the work that I'm doing, you know, I could do less talking about it.
Come on,
because the work is going to naturally speak for itself. Now that's not me being boastful. Jesus said the same things. If you don't even believe me, believe the works that I do. So you ain't got to even believe in my name, but believe the works that I do because the works is what testify. It shows where my passion is. When people want to contradict whatever it is I'm doing because they may not understand what I'm doing. I'm not. You don't even have time to go and answer every critic.
Exactly. That's it.
You don't have time. So why even? I'm not going to even allow that to even enter my mind about answering a critic who does not want to do anything but criticize. I can handle constructive criticism only if they construct the criticism. It needs to be structured. You know, that's it. You know, if you don't construct your criticism, I ignore it and I can keep it moving. I won't entertain it. You know, and so and all of that. I wasn't always like this. You know, it doesn't happen overnight. You know, you grow, and so from man to mentor. You know, I say my grandmother, not my great grandmother. This is my grandmother, my dad's side. I remember when I first moved back to folks, and I was trying to get my life together, get everything together, and you know, church was a natural place to go. Started going back to church, and I would come home every Sunday, and I would go and sit with her, and she would always ask me. She would say, "Man, did you preach today?" I'm like, preaching? I still got 2 feet in the streets. I'm barely hanging on in the church. You know, and after a while, because she would do this constantly. Now, she's always in her right mind. You know, she was well in her 80s. Asked me that. And so finally I asked her, I said, "Grandmother, why do you ask me, did I preach?" You know, good. Well, I don't preach. She said, "You look like a preacher." And I'm looking at the image. But once again, it's like my great grandmother. Maybe she's not seeing what I see in me because she sees the reflection of my future. I see the reflection of my present. And so I saw 2 feet still in the streets. Ain't no way he could be a preacher. But what she saw was 2 feet out the streets in the church, reflecting the image of a preacher. So guess what I ended up being? Exactly what I was always called to do. So man was more than just a nickname. It was a part of the calling. It was a part of transcending to this place. And we all have that. It's not just a name. It's the journey. Mine just came home when my cousin sent me that and said, "Your name is not, it's just not your nickname. You were called to be that." And that's when the whole thing about man to mentor, because I would have never saw myself as mentoring anyone. My life was too negative, you know, but this is what I was called to do. So that's why you transcend from the man, which represents the boy, to the man that's in the mentor, the mentorship.
This is good. This is good. When you say it's all about what you stand for and not what you speak for.
That's right.
This is why it's very important, because they have the saying, do as I say, not as I do.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we're not accomplishing a whole lot talking.
No.
If you love what you do what you're called to do.
Mm-hmm.
Do it. And you want people to respond or, what have you, just do the work.
Right.
And that talks for you,
Yeah, it does. It keeps you from entertaining like foolish things and things where you feel like you have to prove yourself, prove your work, prove your value. And ultimately you'll never prove enough.
Right. That's true.
So you're wasting time with trying to accomplish that. Jesus never spent time trying to prove who he was, though they were always trying to disprove who he was. But he chose to be on those things that were more important, which was making contact with people, to in the community, and letting his name speak for itself. Because ultimately, no one could dirty up your name. Your name is already what it is. It doesn't matter how much dirt they throw in it. God got way more stuff he could do with that dirt and grow something out of it. If they throw enough dirt on any water, you might grow into something.
Come on, that's true. So dirt is not a bad thing.
Yeah, you might welcome the dirt. But yeah, so it's a waste of time to really try to speak for like what you're doing. It'll speak for itself in the time that it needs to speak, but stay concentrated on the things that are more needful, which is being effective and making an impact.
Right.
That's the whole thing about mentorship. It's being effective and making an impact. It's not about numbers, exactly. Anything like that. It's about effectiveness and being effective. And so I center all my efforts around being effective. If I get one, I've accomplished the goal. It's That's not true. About a whole saving X amount of people. If I can get one to thinking differently and see a better path, a brighter path, I've accomplished the goal. And so my mind stays around that.
Right. This is good. In wrapping this up, you were talking about your nickname. Then someone reminded you of that. A lot of times we pay attention to conversation. We'll see things, but most of the time we don't see stuff till after the fact.
Right.
Who knew years later?
Yeah.
That didn't hit you, that didn't, ring a bell, nothing till years later. And then what's so powerful about it, you said she saw the man.
Yeah.
But never got to experience or see the mentor.
Never got to see the mentor. I think she saw it in spirit. So that my grandmother, she saw the preaching. My grandmother never heard me preach a sermon, but she saw it in spirit. She saw the inner man, the potential. And that helps me to know that though I could have been in the worst or most despondent place at that time in my life, they saw what was going on ahead of me. And so it gives me hope to not get so locked in on your present case and on your present situation. It's confirmation for me that I was going to get here anyway, whether I knew it or not. But God had dropped those little things so that I could fall back on those things later on and say, see, these things have been speaking over your life. That is why you made it out of some things you made it out of and all these things. So, it was a very powerful thing. It's amazing like how many times I'm called man on a given day. I have been called it all my life, and it only resonated to what I'm doing now when he responded to me just thanking him, for helping to contribute to that trip. And he just simply, that's all he texts back. He say, your name was meant to be more than a nickname. He said, it's your calling. It was your calling. And from that point, that changes my thinking about who I am, about my name and things like that. Because once the mind gravitates to a thought, it can never go back to its original dimensions.
Right.
And so now, whatever I was doing before that, I'm going to be doing 10 times harder now.
Right.
Because he's just opened me up to a whole nother realm of how I need to be looking at myself, how I need to be looking at what I'm doing, and that none of this stuff is accidental. And to know that hours overlooking it the whole time. Like I didn't even see it, and it only became rare. And there's so much that we don't see on a given basis, you know. And until it becomes conscious to you, everything remains in this dormant state. You know, who I am tomorrow is dormant right now until it becomes conscious, and then the ideal comes, and then you start to run with it. You know, so for me, it's just like, can I motivate others and get them to wake up to the notion that things has been spoken of your life that you don't actually reflect right now. So when I gave those pointers, most people are probably not reflecting any of what I said, but it's to let them know that that is the possibility that you can actually will things in your life that are waiting for you to get in that position, which is your power position. When they said, "What is man?" You talking about a higher being. Why should a higher being care anything about you? It said, "Who was made a little lower than the angel," but you got the angels wondering, like, what type of person is this that God thinks about him, thinks about her, and invests in her, who don't serve in the same capacity. We not around here saying holy, 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 like they are. But yet God, he spent time with us. And so I had to start thinking, like, what am I? You know, let me start looking at myself the way these angels looking at me. Let me empower myself, you know, and let me look at myself in a different way. So when he sent that to me, it forced a new narrative on me to look at things and not to live beneath my potential. Not that I was consciously of it, but what it did do is allow me to think over it. Say, okay, well, yeah, what did she see? And am I living up to it? And then she never saw the mentor. They never saw, neither one of them saw it. No one saw the preacher. But I become exactly what they dreamed of, you know, what they may have saw, you know, like the apple of their eye, whatever you want to call it. So that's open for all of us, not just men, but women as well, you know, to, you know, you have to see the potential in yourself. And the moment you become conscious of it, you got to catch up with the idea and you have to run with that. And you got to run in a hurry because you got people, young leaders, ready to run with you. You know what I'm saying? Ready to run with you. And so when you run with expectations, is what the Bible tells us, to run with expectation, that is why they caught the fish. The fish was waiting to line up with their expectation. If you expect a low count, you get a low count. That's why he says, launch out into the deep and expect something great. That was the difference. Their expectation lined up with the fish's expectations. We supposed to feel this net, but I can't feel it until they know we gonna feel it. And so that's how I look at any challenges and things that I face. You know, it's to face it with great expectation that I'm gonna overcome and I'm gonna get the job done. And then you will that, and you watch it happen. Everything I'm doing was a thought in my mind. That people be like, I don't know how you go. I don't think about how. You just go out there and do it.
Go do it. Go do it. This is good. Men, I hope you were encouraged by this man to mentor. And if there's ever any doubt in your mind about what you're called to do, what you're supposed to do, I encourage you to just stop and think about the things that have been spoken over your life, even as a little boy, even as a young man, even as a baby. Think back on conversations you've had with the elderly, your grandparents, your grandmother, grandfather, even previous pastors that have spoke things over your life that you might have denied, didn't receive, and then go from there with it. Change your expectations to become the best man, the best mentor that you can possibly be. Anything else?
I'll leave with this thing here. This is a personal assessment of mine. To all the men out there, you have to see yourself as the man and the marble, and as the object and the objective. You're the one in control of that. Do something with your own destiny. Don't leave that into the hands of any other. You're the marble and you're the sculptor. You have to go to work on yourself.
Yes. There you have it. Men, be encouraged because we need your voice. Until next time, be blessed.